All right, guys, welcome back. This is a special episode. I have a first-time guest here, my fellow YouTuber and girlfriend, Kat, also known as Kat718. Do yourselves a favor and follow her on Instagram at _ Kat718.
Oh, no, it's Kat718 _
Sorry, Kat718 _ also on YouTube. So you've been very inspirational this past month or so. Well, I mean, beyond that as well. But you've been very proactive and busy with your channel and everything. So I'll give you much props. You've been keeping busy. I took a little hiatus. I'm just getting back into the swing of things, because of everything going on. It's been a tough time for everyone, not only in the country, but the world. It's been a crisis, been a lot of crazy things going on, but we're trying to move past that and keep a positive attitude about things. So we want to keep ourselves entertained the best way we can. We've been watching a lot of online streaming, some Netflix, some Hulu, some Amazon, some movies to keep ourselves occupied and keep our mind off of things.
I feel like Hulu's the thing that we watch the most lately, right?
Yeah, we watch a lot.
I feel like we find a lot of stuff on Hulu.
Yeah, I guess what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about a couple of the shows. We're not gonna go in depth. We're not gonna do like a whole review and everything, but we want to make some recommendations for I guess couples out there that need stuff to watch or are bored at home and want some entertainment. So let's go over some of the shows we've been watching. Let's start with this Hulu show that we just finished seeing called Little Fires Everywhere. Yes. So one disclaimer, you are way better with names than I am. I'm terrible. I'm terrible at remembering names. I know Reese Witherspoon is in it. Yes. A few other.
Kerry Washington.
Yeah. So I'm gonna pull it up. I have the laptop here in front of me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull it up in front of us, and which I should have done this already, but poor preparation on my part. Little Fires. I'm gonna pull up.
And it's based on a book.
Excuse me. Yes, it's based on a book. So. Starring Reese Witherspoon, Kerry Washington, Rosemary DeWitt, and several other characters.
Yeah. Oh, well, I guess you should mention, okay, you know what? Click here. Okay. Because the only people who are really famous on this show would be Reese Witherspoon, Kerry Washington, and Pacey from Dawson's Creek.
Who's that?
Where are my 90s people? I can't remember his name. Joshua Jackson. Joshua Jackson, yes.
Joshua Jackson.
Yes, he was Pacey on Dawson's Creek. Did you ever watch Dawson's Creek?
Who was he? No. Who was he in the show?
He's Reese Witherspoon's husband.
Oh, okay.
Bill, remember?
Right. Bill. Yeah. So wait, let me just give everybody their prop. Not everybody. I'm not gonna go through this whole list, but I want to read this.
And there's also a young cast, so all the newcomers are all teenagers.
I recommended it to my mom. She actually, when I went to visit her, I told her, "Hey, mom, put the show on," and she watches it with her Spanish subtitles, but she totally understood it. For some reason, Hulu doesn't have, I don't know for every show, but for this show, they didn't have Spanish audio, only subtitles. But she understands English, but she likes watching shows with fluidity through the language. But she was able to sit down in like one sitting and finish the whole thing. The series is short; it's a mini series.
It's 8 episodes, right?
It's 8 episodes. Yeah, it's 8 episodes. It's a nice, tight-knit miniseries. It's very good, very a lot of drama. So let me give you guys a brief synopsis. Based on Celeste NG's 2017.
I think it's pronounced Ning. Ning.
Oh, really?
Ning. Yeah, she's Asian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But all I see is NG, so.
Yeah. I might be wrong. I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but I think it's pronounced Ninja.
Ninja.
No, that's stop.
All right, let's call her Celeste. Celeste ends 2017 bestseller Little Fires Everywhere follows the intertwined fates of the picture-perfect Richardson family and the enigmatic mother and daughter who upend their lives. Very interesting storyline.
The show's a lot about white privilege.
white privilege,
minorities, discrimination against minorities. I guess you could say.
Yeah. So it starts with I mean, I guess we could get into spoilers a little bit. You know, I'll put a spoiler.
I guess spoiler alert at this point if you guys haven't seen it yet.
Because it's not a movie.
I guess we're recommending it though, so maybe we shouldn't spoil it. Because we're trying to recommend it. Yeah, you guys want to watch it, so we're not going to spoil it. What I can say is that
Han Solo dies at the end.
The show takes place in the 90s. Actually, takes place in 1997, which I remember. That sounds so dumb, but I remember that particular year, I guess, very well because I was 15. I had started high school, and Titanic came out that year, and that's my favorite movie, as you know.
Die Hard is my favorite movie.
So there's the cool thing is that there's a lot of like 90s references, not in an annoying way. Sometimes they can overkill it. Yeah. One of the cool things that I liked is they take 90s songs and they actually have like a cover song. So instead of playing the actual 90s song, sometimes during a montage, they will use a 90s song, and then I would be like, wait a minute, I know that song, but it sounds, or like a song that would have been really fast paced in the 90s, they made it into a slow, soft song. So I thought that was kind of interesting, the way that they did that.
Yeah, the soundtrack was really cool. A lot of nostalgia, taking you back to because it's a timepiece, it takes place in the 90s. It's not current day. So we were watching this other show with Reese Witherspoon on HBO. You weren't really that into it.
I think I saw the first season with you, and then I was kind of like,
well, the first season, what's it called? Big Little Lies. Yeah. On HBO. And,
so she's in 2 shows with titles that have the word little
based on a book.
Also based on a book.
Based on a book, yeah. But so Big Little Lies, the first season only was based on the book, and then they continued the show with just regular writing, right? That was off the book. But anyway, back to this show, Little Fires Everywhere.
And I'm sorry, but who knows if they might do the same thing with this show? Because I might be wrong, but I believe this was only one book as well. Yeah. So I don't know. They might come out with a season 2, and just the writers might just make it up along the way.
They might. Maybe they might, because when the show is successful and it gets a lot of buzz and a lot of attention, people show their interest, and normally the showrunners like to. Not kind of milk. Let me see. I'm not phrasing it right, but not milk it. But
I mean, they want to milk it. They do. They want to make their money. But you know what? If they're gonna have some good writing, then go for it. Milk it.
Yeah, they can definitely continue it. So they end up. What's the name of the town?
Oh my gosh, Shaker Heights. It's a real town in Ohio.
Yeah,
Shaker Heights. Yeah.
Kerry Washington. What was her character's name?
Oh God, what was her name? I already forgot.
Maya Warren. Maya Warren and her daughter.
Pearl
Warren. Yeah. They moved into Shaker Heights, where
they're kind of like nomads. So we're not really spoiling at this point. This is probably things that you probably saw in the trailer, but because I'm sure there was a trailer. They're nomads, and they're like the newcomers in this town, and they're black. It's a single mother, black single mother with her daughter, and this is a really very privileged white town.
Right. And Reese Witherspoon wants to be the goody two shoes to help them out.
But it's kind of like she's doing it almost
because she felt guilty for something.
Yeah, like it's kind of like I guess you could call it. I don't even want to call it white guilt. Sometimes maybe sometimes whites can feel like that towards minorities, but then they kind of overdo it, where they're kind of just trying to sometimes help out minorities just to make themselves look good or feel good about themselves, and it's not really genuine.
Like in I kept referring to Get Out, that movie Get Out.
Yes, kind of like that. That's exactly.
When the father was like, "Oh, I voted for Obama twice. I would vote for him a third time if I could." Yeah. Kind of like that.
Yeah.
But so her family, she's got 3 kids, right? No, 4 kids.
Yeah,
she's got 2 sons. Reese Witherspoon's character.
2 sons and 2 daughters.
What's her character's name?
Elena.
Yes.
And she's got the hair kind of like the way
Richardson,
the way Hillary Clinton would have. She's kind of like trying to emulate the Clintons. That's how I see her. Like that's like her vision of a perfect life, is to be like the Clintons, and especially being the 90s.
Yeah. 2 daughters, 2 sons. I guess you would call that a nuclear family, right? Is that a description of a nuclear family?
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know. I'm just throwing fucking high school words out there. Yeah, so it's interesting. They cross paths, and then you see things start getting dicey between the families. They're friends, and then other characters get involved, and it turns into some legal stuff. But it's very interesting. It's very captivating.
It's almost like a novela, like a novela, like from Univision or Telemundo. Like
I'm like the last person that would get into watching a novela, but it did have kind of a soap opera kind of feel to it, but the drama was there, the acting was there, the kids put on a great.
Yes, the young cast.
The young cast,
very talented young cast.
Very talented.
Yeah, definitely.
So anyway, we're not gonna do a spoiler recap or anything like that, but highly recommend Little Fires Everywhere on Hulu. Hulu, holla at your boy for that sponsorship. I'm giving you props to all my 20 followers. I'm only trying to help you guys out. Yes. Okay. So moving on. The next thing on the menu, I like to say menu because I like to go to restaurants and eat. Remember when people?
Yeah, remember when people went to restaurants?
Remember when people go to restaurants and eat? That was cool. So the next thing we finished. Oh, this was a few months back, but we never really got to talk about it. Was a show on HBO called.
This is pre-quarantine.
Pre-quarantine. Called The Outsider.
Yeah, so it was on HBO.
Yeah, so if you want.
Well, that's another.
While I look it up.
That's another show that's also based on a book. It's based on a Stephen King book, and I believe it's a trilogy. And I lost my train of thought.
That's all right. Hey, welcome to my world. Right. I always lose my train of thought.
So it's a Stephen King, so it's a supernatural show.
Supernatural drama.
Drama,
sci-fi,
definitely.
Right? Kind of sci-fi as well. Well,
supernatural. I wouldn't say sci-fi. I would say definitely supernatural.
Okay.
Yeah,
you're right. If there was aliens, it would be sci-fi.
Yeah, definitely.
But going into it, you don't know it's supernatural yet until things start developing.
Yeah, I was because it was called The Outsider. I really didn't think it was gonna be a supernatural show because I had never read the book. The only Stephen King book that I've read is Pet Sematary. Which, if you guys love the movie, not the one that they made recently,
that remake was trash.
Sucked. I really love the original movie, but if you guys are interested in reading the book, if you haven't, it gives you a lot more details in the book, as usually books do. Right. But yeah, because I think Stephen King he's written a few books or novels that aren't all supernatural. I believe. I might be wrong. So I don't know. I assumed that this show wasn't going to be supernatural, and then when it was, I was really enjoying it, and I was actually kind of surprised that you got into it because he does not like scary stuff. Yeah. I don't like paranormal horror shit. I don't like The Grudge or stuff like paranormal activities. Yeah. And that's the stuff that I love, and I love Halloween. I love going to haunted houses, and of course, I fell in love with a man who doesn't.
Right. You know, opposites attract.
Opposites attract.
Yeah, because she doesn't like action movies.
Yes. It depends. It depends. I like the ones from the 90s, like Speed and Point Break and all that.
Because your boyfriend, what's his face? Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves.
When he was young.
I mean, come on. Who doesn't love Keanu Reeves? Come on.
Of course. I love him too.
Yeah, exactly.
But like in a straight kind of way.
Yes.
So, all right. So The Outsider, created by Richard Price, starring Ben Mendelsohn. Bill Camp, Jeremy Bobb, and actually Jason Bateman was also in it.
He's only like in 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah, he's not in the whole thing.
Oh, maybe we shouldn't say that because we're kind of spoiling.
Take it back. But yeah, so this is a highly recommended show. Very mysterious. I just wanted to talk about, her name is Cynthia Erivo. She plays Holly Gibney. She's a very important character in the book and in the show, but she doesn't make an appearance until later on. Yeah. She really helps the show move along. She's a very vital character to the whole thing. She's so good. I would love. I'm really hoping that they continue. They make a second season. You know, that's another thing because HBO. This was a series I saw on my own called The Watchmen. You didn't see it, but you were kind of like secondhand seeing it a little by little. There's a lot of times where I kind of secondhand watch things with him because I'll just tell him really quickly. We live in a 1-bedroom apartment, so I get ready in the living room to not bother him in the mornings. To not bother him in the mornings. So I have kind of like my little desk set up. So many times on the weekends, for example, while I'm getting ready, blow drying my hair, doing my makeup, he's watching a show. So I kind of sometimes just get involved and I just ask him questions or I'll laugh at things that he's watching. But I kind of don't want to sit down and actually watch a whole episode. And then she'll ask me stuff. She'll ask me stuff that I'm not even paying attention sometimes. But there's times where I've actually picked up things half-ass watching the show and he didn't get. And I'm like, babe, this happened. He's like, what? You're very inquisitive. So I help him. You help me follow along when I drift away. Yes. But yeah, so highly recommend The Outsider. Yes. Anyway, what I was talking about, the Watchmen series on HBO. So that was based off of the graphic novel, and it was loosely based on the film that came out directed by Zack Snyder. I talked about it in another one of my videos. Maybe I'll put a link on this one when I'm talking about the Watchmen series. But the reason I bring it up is because they decided to make it a one-season series, and I believe that they're trying to do it with this, unless the showrunners decide to add on another season.
Oh wait, they're trying to not bring this back? That's what you heard?
Yeah, don't quote me on it, but I think I saw somewhere that this was a one-off. I could be totally off, but Holly Gibney's character gives them kind of leeway to even make a spin-off series.
Because, and this is not a spoiler, just because the Stephen King books, there's 3 books that are with that character, Holly Gibney. So if they don't make a second season, I think that's really foolish of them, because they have a lot of material to work with. So I think they should definitely do that.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe with Watchmen they don't, because that's based on it was a graphic novel, right? Watchmen?
Yeah, but
and it was just one.
Yeah, but they could still make another season if they really get together and write a nice screenplay for it. I think that they could pull off a second season. But yeah, anyway, just a side note, HBO has really exceptional shows, series. Barry is one of them.
That I also kind of like half-ass watched with you too.
But I don't want to ramble on to like sidebars, but definitely The Outsider or something.
Yes, it's scary. It's scary. And for all you Latinos out there,
watch out for El Cuco.
El Cuco, or like, okay, he says El Cuco. I'm half Colombian, and I was raised more Colombian, and I've always heard of it as El Coco.
Yeah.
I don't know. I only from El Cuco from you. And on the show they say El Cuco, but at one point it's spelled El Coco. Like they spell it like that.
They spell El Coco,
yeah.
which I know is a delicious fruit. Coconut margarita.
Well, that was what they used to tell you. Oh, portate bien, or del coco te va a comer. El coco se te va a comer, or some stuff like that. I don't know.
So I guess we could talk about...
It's the boogeyman.
That's
boogeyman. What it is.
Right. It's the boogeyman. One more series I'll get into is going back to Hulu.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I kind of convinced you to start watching it.
Yeah. I had never heard of him.
Yeah. It's a comedy show based off of the life of the rapper Lil Dicky. So I think we started watching some of his videos, and I mean. Well,
you had mentioned to me that there was like this. He's a Jewish rapper, which is interesting. Right. He's a Jewish rapper, and like you never heard. You told me like, oh, you never heard of him. So he showed me some videos, and they were funny, and he's a really good rapper. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Talented.
I don't know anything about hip hop, but to me, he sounded good, and. Yeah. He's a hip hop expert. He said he sounded good, so I trust you.
Yeah, listen, you got to give credit when credit is due, regardless of race. Lil Dicky's very talented, and so he has a show on Hulu called Dave, which I would say it's loosely based on his life.
That's his real name. Dave what? Dave. What's his real name?
Dave the rapper.
Maybe he has he definitely probably has an IMDb, right? Oh look, they just. Dave Bird. I had a feeling it was Bird.
Yeah, that's right.
Dave Bird. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's a very talented guy. And then, so this is another. I think the Hulu show.
Yeah, because he's really funny. The show is really funny, and he's a good actor. Yeah, definitely. He's an entertainer. You know.
He's more. He doesn't take himself seriously. Like his music is mostly satire, but on a rapper level, he's talented. Like he's got flows, he's got delivery, he's got punchlines. He's So you give credit when credit is due, like I was saying. And so the show's funny. It's a comedy. Andrew Santino, which is a comedian that I follow, he's got a very funny podcast. And now he's doing a podcast with Bobby Lee. It's like one of my top podcasts that I follow called Bad Friends. And so, yeah, it was funny seeing him. He's like one of the main...
He's the main character.
Yeah, one of the main... I guess
it's almost like he's playing himself, kind of like an asshole. Right?
Yeah. He plays his like friend / agent. But yeah, definitely recommend Dave. It's a funny show. They just wrapped it up on Hulu, so you could binge the whole series. Yeah, it's only like 30-minute episodes,
and it's like 10 episodes. Yeah. You can watch it like literally in one day.
And then the last episode, he does like this really really nice performance on The Breakfast Club with Charlemagne the God and all of them. And he's a talented guy. And so, I've seen a lot of videos of him like doing live concerts and so
and definitely not a show you want to watch with your kids in the room.
Don't watch it with your kids, for sure. For sure don't watch it with your
I'm pretty
kids.
sure your preteens are probably watching this on their own, right?
Yeah,
Definitely, because the humor is kind of like immature sometimes.
It's
but
definitely immature.
Yeah, but it's funny.
It's funny. So Dave, so I think that comes to a wrap with the. What else?
Were we going to talk about that?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Yes.
One more show we want to recommend. We just finished season 1. We're kind of late to the party because the show's been out for a bit. It's been out for a couple of years now. Money Heist, Casa del Papel.
La Casa del Papel.
La Casa del Papel on Netflix. It's a Spanish show.
From Spain.
It's from España.
From España. So La Casa del Papel.
If you watch it and come una paella with your amigos. Anyway, so it's very thick Spanish accent.
Listen, I think both of us speak Spanish pretty good, and I can understand Spanish and everything, but it's just when it comes to Spaniard Spanish, their accent is very, very thick, and it's kind of hard to understand them. Just like I'm probably sure that it's probably hard for them to understand us. Yeah. Maybe. I mean, I'm Colombian and I talk very fast naturally, and Colombians also talk very fast, and I know Dominicans talk very fast. Yeah. I'm pretty sure a Spanish person from Spain would probably have trouble watching a Colombian or Dominican show.
Yeah, sometimes I can't keep up with you.
Yeah, there's times where he's like, what? Or you know what it is? It's also because I'm half Colombian, half Ecuadorian, raised more Colombian, so my slang, sometimes he doesn't understand. He's fully Ecuadorian.
Well, I'm American, so you need to speak American here.
So sometimes it's like there's things that I'll talk to him in Spanish, and he's like, what does that word mean? Because it's like slang. The same thing, we tried watching Money Heist, like an episode in Spanish, and I was like, I can't. All I was doing was reading the English subtitles. And then some of the things are saying, like, what the hell does that mean? Yeah. Like, what is that? Yeah. So we're just watching it dubbed in English right now.
So just a quick side note. Kind of similar to Narcos. I was watching Narcos Mexico. Love that show. But there's different dialects to Spanish, to the Spanish language. There's so many subcultures, different ethnicities within Latin America have their own dialect and slang. But you can understand Spanish, but there's certain slangs that even if you understand Spanish, you just won't get it. So anyway. But
I feel like just one thing, I feel like with Mexican slang, I feel like all of us grew up probably watching, like seeing our moms watch, novelas in Univision or Telemundo. So you kind of pick up. Like they say chingar a lot, right? What is it, chingar? What is chingar? Chingar means a lot of things to them, right?
Chinga tu madre.
Like, right? It means to fuck, right? Yeah. Isn't that kind of? It means so.
It's okay to drop an F on me.
It's a bad word, but or I feel like, or they say, or when they pick up the phone, they say bueno, right? Instead of saying hola, alo, like I say alo, like they say bueno. So there's some stuff that we kind of understand when it comes to like Mexican slang. Or just living, here in the States, which I was born here. So but you.
Congratulations.
Well, I'm just saying, we are, you get to meet so many people from so many different parts. You don't really get to meet a lot of people from Spain, at least in the neighborhood that we live in, But I know Dominican, Puerto Ricans, Central Americans. So we all kind of know each other's slang and dialect, So,
that's true.
But with people from Spain, I've only met a few Spanish people.
They're kind of more, I don't know, like a little. What's the word?
Don't say anything.
Okay. No, I meant not snobby, but I don't know. What's the word I'm looking for? Help me out here.
I guess.
Sophisticated?
I guess some maybe. Okay, I'm not. Listen.
Somos de España.
I guess sometimes maybe people from Spain might think they're a little more superior to Latin Americans, maybe. But you know what?
They're not considered part of Latin America.
No, they're European. They're European. European. Yeah. So.
But anyway.
But listen. That's not even what this. This is about.
We just went off on a fucking tangent here. But Money Heist, really dope show. Highly recommend it.
Yes.
It's based off of this crew that is masterminded by this guy called the Professor. The guy's a genius. It's like he's playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers. He's always 5 steps ahead
of the police.
Whenever you think he's, and listen, we just saw the first season. and we just started the second season, and you know they're in the thick of it right now. So we're like, where is this gonna go from here? Yeah, like this is up to season 4 now, we tell each other like, how the fuck, where is this gonna go?
Yeah,
because it's just. But it's great.
There's just so much going on.
Great writing, great acting, a very talented cast, and I'm happy that a platform like Netflix can show talent from all over the world. You know, like because if it wasn't for Netflix, we wouldn't be up on a show like this, right?
Yeah.
So
so definitely recommend that.
Definitely recommend Money Heist. It's a good heist show. Haha. But yeah, so I think that's it for this segment of shows and recaps and recommendations. So we want to get into a little segment where
Nice.
Okay.
You're gonna edit that out, right?
Of course. I haven't even started yet.